Hello and welcome to the mobile generation, where we're all about mobile phones and the latest tech.
Ever since the smartphone, we trust our phones to help us with tasks, from taking notes on websites to other tasks such as Snapchatting our daily selfies.
With mobiles today, it's not just a case of simply calling or texting. We can use apps to enjoy television on the go, connect with strangers to start dating, and even use it as a bank card to make payments.
But are smartphones affecting us in ways we weren't aware of before? If so, should we continue our daily usage or should we think twice when we update our Facebook status?
So coming up on the show, we have an interview with the Vodafone senior manager. We go to Westfield Shopping Centre to get your opinion on the situation. And we have Tim Hill to discuss with us the life as an app developer and what career opportunities the smartphone trend has given him.
Now looking at the news, the Daily Mail revealed that checking our phone takes up to about 15% of our leisure time, and according to the Telegraph, children now run the risk of developing a hunchback posture. This all sounds scary, but is there more to this? We go to Tom Jones to find out more.
Okay guys, I'm here today at Ravensbourne University with Megan Johnson, who is a senior sales advisor and manager of Vodafone, and I'm going to talk to her to get her experience on the mobile phone industry and talk about what she knows with people's phone habits. Okay, Megan, hello.
Hello.
It's good to talk to you today.
You too.
So to start off, how did you get into the mobile phone industry?
I sort of fell into it really. I started working at Phone Studio about 5 years ago now.
Right.
Was there for a couple of years, and then I ended up liking technology, sales, being with customers, and now I work for Vodafone, and I've been there for about 3 years now.
Okay. When do you think phones became more than just a phone?
I'd say the pinnacle moment was definitely when the internet was introduced. I mean, it was always on the phone, but I mean, you have to wait about 10 minutes for something to load,
Yeah.
make a cup of tea, come back. Now, whatever you want is in your hands. You've got it all. It was when the apps come out, really. It was the apps and the data. That was when the transition was made.
So would you say that these apps and having the internet, this is causing phone addiction for a lot of people?
Definitely, you're on it all the time. Whether it's to check the news, you've got the news now on your app, whether it's check your Facebook, your banking, you don't go to the bank anymore, you can do your shopping online.
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to go out. You've got eBay, there's countless
Yeah.
that you can do on your phone now. Yeah, so addiction is real because everything is drawn back to the phone. So
Yeah.
once you get in the habit of doing that, do something for 30 days and it does turn into a habit.
Yeah, true. Would you say that phones now have a positive or negative effect on society?
I think that's both, because we do all rely on what we use on our phones now. You've got banking, you've got all the apps to social media, you've got WhatsApp, you've got Viber, so you can communicate with people that are
Yeah.
abroad. But it's negative in the fact that we're people, we're meant to be talking and interacting with each other, and you get on the train and you find everyone with their heads down and no one's saying hello, how are you? It's just reading a book or listening to music on their phone.
Yeah.
You've also got, you go into a friend's house you haven't seen in a while, what's your Wi-Fi password? That's the first thing people say as they come through the door.
Yeah.
It has got the positive side for businessmen, that always have their emails to hand. It's a hard one really, it's positive and negative, but it's not going to change. We are only going to get more technical anyway, so.
That's true. So you would say that it's because of the apps that people are buying it, that that's all they're taking into consideration?
Yeah, because phones have been around, I don't know how many years now, but it was just the calls and texts and the classic Snake.
Yeah.
But now it is about the apps. You've got that basically on a phone, you've had that all along, but that was never an addiction for people. That never become, you're on it all the time. Since the apps have evolved into it, that's where the addiction lies, I would definitely say.
Well, it was great to talk to you today.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for giving your input. Okay, so we go back to the studio where we talk to Charlotte. Thank you.
After our interview with Megan, we had our expert opinion on this situation. But just as Megan stated, there are a lot of people that have an extreme attachment to their phones.
Results from the annual Ofcom study revealed that the typical UK adult spent on average 8 hours and 41 minutes a day on media devices. That's around the same average time for sleeping, which is 8 hours and 21 minutes.
This led us to wonder if the public believed that they were too dependent on their phones, and if there is any justification to their phone habits. Tom took a trip to Wetzels to get the answers.
So here I am at Westfield Shopping Centre, a haven for people to come and buy the latest technology on mobile phones. Whether you've got couples waiting for each other doing the latest shop, or individuals listening to music while they look at clothes, a huge proportion of people are on their mobile phones. So we beg the question, are you addicted to your mobile phone?
I don't know, I go on it loads whenever I get bored.
I check it at least like every 30 minutes.
A lot, I don't know. Within the hour, probably on it for about 25 minutes to 30 minutes. A lot, yeah.
30, 40 times a day.
Never. No.
In terms of minutes, I use my phone a lot.
Social media.
Messages, WhatsApp,
Emails,
Facebook.
Ringing or gaming? I'm a part-time football coach as well, so I need to interact with parents, organising games, training, and obviously socially with friends and wife.
Travel, so Google Maps. I'm on my emails. I make a lot of calls and messages.
Texting and phoning. Everyone's like that, isn't they? It's a little bit, you know, I mean, it sounds old-fashioned to moan about that, but yeah.
I find it rude if I am in the company of other people and just on my phone. I think that's not etiquette.
Definitely. We were saying that early on. We're fed up with people talking as they're walking along the road. I said, why can't they meet up and talk?
Communication's lost. My niece is 11. You can't take the phone out of her hand.
Yeah, in a positive way. It's all sort of social element, sort of calling, play games with friends. I can do that whenever, really.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when you're on the train sometimes, it's like everyone's on their phone like that.
People more
Every single
antisocial
person,
than
no
us,
one
I
looks at each other, and I end up putting my phone away deliberately just to be the person that's not on their phone. I just think society's definitely been taken over with the mobile technology, iPads. There's always something to do on there, isn't it? You can read your book on there now, you can watch a movie, you can
do everything on there.
and then you've got Wi-Fi underground now, so everyone's more like on their phone a lot more. So it's just, it's literally taken over. Oh God, I can't even think about that now. When the iPhone first came out, that's how long I've had the iPhone for.
7 years ago.
I never did.
Within the last year, because I do plumbing and heating, I quite often break phones.
Since I've had one, which was my BlackBerry, 4 years ago, I've not looked back.
As you can see, phones have definitely changed the way that we behave socially, drastically affecting the way that we perform tasks in our day-to-day lives. With the public proving that as a generation we are mostly addicted, could you go a day without your mobile phone?
Anyway, moving on. Besides smartphones affecting our leisure time, it has also been made an impact on the marketing and business world with the introduction of apps. Mobile apps are considered a growing market, yet this is yet to fill its potential. We have Tim Hill, who talks about his app and whether he thinks that apps are affecting our social interactions. Hi Tim, could you explain in detail what your app does?
Sure. So ClubsIn is a mobile discovery and ticketing platform for student club nights. We let students find all the best nights in their local area, find the night's themes, the music, the drinks, prices, and then from there they can get tickets and information about the venues and directions to those venues.
Do you think that apps are the main reason for phone addiction?
To a degree. I think the apps provide more utility to our phones. So obviously with apps you can either use them for leisure, so like social media for example, or games for fun, or for utility.
How have apps affected business in relation to service and staff?
Well, I think it's much easier to start a company now. Before you'd need a lot of upfront cost to start a company, whereas now 1 or 2 developers can start a company. It's much easier to get started, and companies of very small teams can have massive growth.
How do you decide on whether your app is going to be free or not?
The decision is actually how do you make money. At the end of the day, apps are a business. Most apps have revenue models that allow the apps to be free themselves. In-app purchases are really popular at the moment and actually often result in a much higher user spend because people can try out the app and then if they really like it, then they can increase their spend by doing in-app purchases. Making the app paid for in advance is sometimes more difficult to acquire users, as obviously people are less likely to try something they have to pay for in advance. So I think it all depends on your business model, really.
Thank you, Tim, very much for your time, and we wish you good luck with your app.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
And that's everything we have for you today. Please check out our website for further information onto the topics we've covered. Have a good night.